I'm so pleased to have Dr. Tominiyi Owolabi, the managing partner of Olaniwun Ajayi. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for your time.
It's a pleasure, and thanks for having me here this morning.
Just to get started, your organization has been actively involved in advising on energy projects in Nigeria. Could you elaborate on some of the recent initiatives that the firm has supported and the key legal challenges encountered in some of these projects?
Okay, gas is the transition fuel for Africa, and one of the key things we've been seeing in Nigeria and on the continent is that there's been significant investment flow and policy support for gas. And one of the things that have kept us busy in the last couple of years has been gas projects. We've been supporting Nigeria LNG with Train 7 project. We recently also supported them in terms of building new GSAs for new suppliers, and that's been very exciting. The other big thing coming out of Nigeria has been the Dangote refinery, and we've been pleased to have supported that project for the past 13 years, and the last 2 years has been very, very busy in relation to that project. So that's one of the exciting things we've done. The other thing I'd like to mention, which is also big in Nigeria, has been the divestment. That is one area also that's kept us busy. If you follow the news, the Seplat Mobile deal has been a big one coming out of Nigeria. We're also, we played a very active role on that deal. And in terms of challenges, one key challenges of doing deals in Nigeria on the continent still remains regulations. Regulatory hurdles, trying to get your deal passed, trying to get your deals through, trying to get the requisite approvals remains a big challenge. And that's one key thing that we keep saying on the deals we work with. The other key issue has been on the financing side. Yes, we're seeing a lot more African DFIs and African institutions support deals on the continent, but getting finance still remains a big challenge. And one of the things we preach, my firm, is that we're looking out for more Africa capital to support Africa energy. And the reason why this is so is because we believe that African institutions understand Africa better, and so they are able to understand our risk, deploy faster, and analyze our deals quicker. So those are the few challenges we've been seeing on the deals we've been working on.
And given the evolving energy policies in Nigeria, how do you navigate the complex regulatory environment to ensure successful project implementation for clients in the energy sector?
As if I knew you were going to ask that. As I said, regulation is still the big issue to closing deals. In our firm, we approach it in three basic ways. Number one is we've made a major investment in what we call regulatory and legislative watch. So we are actively monitoring regulatory changes, regulatory developments, and helping our clients understand the impact of regulation before they're actually passed into law. That gives our clients an advantage in getting ready for the implementation of those regulations. And it also helps us to better assist our clients in dealing with the impact of those regulations. The other key thing that we do in our firm is we have what we call regulatory engagement. We have very, very close relationship with regulators. And when you understand the regulators, they understand you and they know you, you're able to get things through easier and quicker. The third leg for us is technology. Of course, these days, everybody's talking about technology. And so we built a proprietary system now in a tool in our firm, which we call OA Comply, and which we deploy for our clients. It's a tool to help ensure regulatory compliance. And that has proven very successful. We've deployed with a lot of major clients in the country and outside of the country. And that has helped us work with our clients to ensure that they comply with regulations and they can cut the regulatory tape in relation to their deals and their work.
And with the increasing focus on regional energy integration, how is the firm assisting clients in structuring and executing cross-border energy projects, particularly in the West African region?
Okay, good thing is our firm, we're the largest in West Africa, and we've had the good fortunes of opening an office in the UK. We are the first African firm to have an SRA regulated law firm in the UK. And that has positioned us better to support deals on the continent and particularly in West Africa. The other thing which I should mention is that we've got a dedicated OADA practice which feeds and supports the Francophone countries. And what we do largely is, first and foremost, we follow our clients into the continent. As you know, Nigeria is a leader in the oil and gas sector and energy sector on the continent. And so we see a lot of Nigerian players going to the continent. And so the first thing we do is support them into their foray into the continent, helping them understand the terrain, helping them to understand what they need to do, and helping them settle quickly. The other thing we've done is also we've built a very strong connection with law firms in other parts of Africa, where we're able to work seamlessly to support clients that are going into that region. In terms of how we support them, of course, there are numerous ways. One of the things we've learned is in our many years of supporting deals out of Nigeria are the easiest ways to raise funding. There are complexities to raising funding on the continent, risk factors, but we've been able to work on some very, very interesting deal structures, which we then export to these nations that are, growing in terms of hydrocarbon and fossil fuel development.
And I'm so glad that you mentioned that, because as sustainable energy projects are now starting to gain momentum, what role does your firm play in facilitating financing for such initiatives? And what are the common legal structures employed?
Okay. We, of course, as I mentioned earlier on, gas is a transition fuel, and we are actively supporting on those gas projects. But one of the big issues that we've seen on the continent is your typical project finance structures that historically has been used to get deals off the table has become more and increasingly challenged. It's more difficult to get those deals through and to close on those bases. And so what we're seeing is we're seeing a lot more deals that are prepayment deals that are coming up. We're seeing deals tied to revenue streams, securitization of revenue streams. We're seeing deals that are tied to offtake of the products. And those deals are easier to structure, easier to deploy, where lenders and investors see a line to their funding. And so that's a lot more of the deals that we're seeing on the continent. Pre-export financing are more of the popular deals that we're seeing. And as the continent grows in terms of developing its hydrocarbons resource, we believe those are the deals that will be available to accelerate things.
And just my final question.
Okay.
We're here at African Energy Week. How does your firm see this event as a platform for shaping dialogue on the legal and regulatory frameworks for energy projects in Africa? And what are the key insights that you hope to share with investors and policymakers?
Okay. We have been great supporters of AEW. For years now, we come and we support. And we found it to be a very, very important venue for discussions about energy on the continent. And that's because almost everybody that matters on the continent in relation to energy, they're here for the event. And so, and that enables conversations to be held in a relaxed and easy manner within the few days that we're here. You've got regulators, you've got IOCs, you've got independents, you've got investors, you've got oil servicing companies, and you've got lawyers like us, under one roof, all having conversations, then also having social. So for us, it's a very, very important event that we look for at the end, towards the end of the year. And the kind of conversations we'll be having is still around how we remove barriers to investing in energy projects on the continent. The continent still requires heavy investment in energy infrastructure. And there are so many barriers to that. Some are homegrown, some are international, some they're just barriers all over the place. And one of the things we appreciate coming here is we join in those conversations to reduce those barriers. We join in those conversations to accelerate the development of the sector. We join in those conversations to find ways of funding projects easier, quicker, and in an accelerated manner. So we always look forward to being here. And the past days that we've been here, it's been exciting. We've had some very, very good conversations. We've made some good contacts that would, that's good for our business. And still looking forward to the rest of the week while also planning for next year's events.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for your time, and thank you for being here.
It's a pleasure, and thanks for having me here this morning. Thank you.